Monday and the gardeners are here and I sleep with my window open, and every morning I get woken up to the lawnmower and it's always right outside my window. like, okay, I'm up. Also, it's a beautiful day today. Look at that sky, my goodness. Wow, those clouds are unreal. Look at the mountains. Pretty. It's gonna be a beautiful day today. We are going to the gym. I went to church yesterday and the pastor gave the most beautiful message about creating a sacred life. We're in a series that started at the beginning of the year. And at the end of the sermon, when we were about to be excused, he told us that our senior pastor had passed away that morning. I mentioned in a previous video that I've been going to that church since around the 3rd grade. So there was times where we either got there too late or I just didn't get checked into the children's ministry. So I would go into the adult temple, like where the adults go. And he would be preaching. And so I would always hear him preaching when I was a little girl. He had a voice that just commanded the room. I remember the first time that I walked into that building, into the main sanctuary, and how beautiful it was and how it was so captivating. And I remember just always looking around the room and seeing how ginormous it was. And sometimes I catch myself doing that now. Like I'll just look around and I'm just in awe of how beautiful that sanctuary is. And I remember how I used to feel about it when I was little and how he used to preach and how sad I was when I found out that he was stepping down from the senior pastor position and handing it over to his daughter's husband, Pastor Dan, which is my now pastor. And so I was so devastated to get that news. I started crying, and the way the pastor told us, he was like, I have good news and bad news. And he told us that. I just wasn't expecting that news. You could tell it was heavy on his heart, and I gasped. So I know he's in heaven with God now and with my brother, and it broke my heart a little bit. It made me sad for us still here, right, without him, but I know he did his mission and I know he completed his work, and I know God is very proud of him. And I'm just so blessed to have known him, and I'm so blessed to have had him as my pastor when I was a little girl. And for a long time I didn't understand why he retired so long ago, so early. I was like, he's still strong enough to be the lead pastor, what's going on? But I understood yesterday. I understood because our now pastor, I feel like he's so strong in his position there that this isn't going to, it's not going to be harder than it already is, right? It's already a difficult situation. And so if my now pastor wasn't in this position as long as he's been, it might have been heavier than it is going to be. But I feel for the family, and I've been praying for them, and hopefully you will pray for them, because losing someone is never easy. But I know God is with them, and they're mighty people of God, and I know it's only going to make them stronger. And I love them so much. It just makes me want to go to church all the more, just to be there to support them in any way that I can. So I'm going to keep doing that. Okay, love you. Church and I are going to be doing a 7-day fast. So the fast is going to be from the 24th through the 31st to Easter Sunday. And you can do it however you want to. Maybe you can just not eat breakfast, or you can do a water fast. I mean, I wouldn't recommend that for your first fast, 7-day water fast. No, maybe you could do 1 meal a day. My mom and I are going to be doing the Daniel fast, which is fruits and vegetables, for those 7 days. So I wanted to invite you to do this fast with us, and just for breakthroughs, right? If there's something you've been praying for, if there's something that maybe God has been calling you to fasting and you don't want to do it alone, I'll be kind of guiding you through what that's like.
Help is closer than you know. No harm will overtake you. You have angels always around you. On guard day and night. No harm will overtake you. You have angels.
my breakfast this morning. We did 2 eggs, 2 servings of egg whites, and an Oikos 000 yogurt. Normally I would have my keto bun instead of the yogurt and some fruit, but I'm not even hungry this morning. Kind of making myself eat because I'm gonna need it, because after today's Bible study I'm going to the gym. It's leg day again. I don't know, food's been making me a bit nauseous lately, but we gotta eat, gotta stay strong. So I know I usually only film breakfast, and I'm not really filming the middle and end of my days anymore, or hardly ever, because okay, that was weird. Editing footage can take anywhere from 4 to 8 hours. And so there are days where I do not have that kind of time to be editing and uploading. So I try to reduce the amount of things that I film. So I've noticed when I just film early in the mornings, my breakfast, Bible studies, and gym sessions, I could work with that. And even sometimes that's a lot. So there's days where I try to reduce the amount of footage that I film, and it just makes it easy to just film breakfast. So I don't always film my lunches and my dinners. I do sometimes add in a snippet of it, but not cooking it, because I'm like, oh my gosh, imagine editing all of this. And I'm like, I can't do that. So maybe I'll add in more once I'm on vacation from school, which I only get 2 weeks off. I already have one thing planned, but not much else, because I'm so overwhelmed I don't even want to plan for that yet. But I'm gonna hang out with some friends and do some fun things, but I'm not gonna film them. I don't know, that's weird, right? It's weird. Like sometimes I'll film people, but other times I'm like uncomfortable for them, because it's like, this is what I do. They didn't sign up for this. I did. And sometimes I'm like, should I keep doing this? I don't know. Hopefully, maybe one person out there is appreciating my videos. Please appreciate it, because it can take a lot sometimes. Okay, that's all I have to say. I'm gonna eat my breakfast, and then we're gonna jump into the word for a little bit, and then we're gonna head to the gym. Love you. I can already tell this video is gonna be a longer one with a lot of editing. Just like having to take out everything that's like silent moments and certain things that I'm like, maybe I don't want the world
Guys,
to know.
I'm almost done with the book of Isaiah, and I think these sections that I just read through kind of aligns with today's video. In chapter 57 of Isaiah, it says, "The righteous perish, and no one ponders it in his heart. Devout men are taken away, and no one understands that the righteous are taken away to be spared from evil. Those who walk uprightly enter into peace. They find rest as they lie in death." In chapter 58, God is speaking against the people that fast in their own doing, right? To be religious and to just follow the religious practices of the time, but their hearts are so far away from God. And so God is speaking against those things. So this is what he has to say. True fasting. Shout it aloud. Do not hold back. Raise your voice like a trumpet. Declare to my people their rebellion, and to the house of Jacob their sins. For day after day they seek me out. They seem eager to know my ways, as if they were a nation that does what is right and has not forsaken the commands of its God. They ask me for just decisions and seem eager for God to come near them. Why have we fasted, they say, and you have not seen it? Why have we humbled ourselves, and you have not noticed? Yet on the day of your fasting you do as you please and exploit all your workers. Your fasting ends in quarreling and strife and in striking each other with wicked fists. You cannot fast as you do today and expect your voice to be heard on high. Is this the kind of fast I have chosen, only a day for a man to humble himself? What God is saying is, these people are asking him, like, we're fasting. Why aren't you seeing our fast? Why aren't you acknowledging the fact that we're fasting? Aren't you seeing that we're humbling ourselves? And God's response to them is, how do you want me to bless you when while you are fasting, you are also fighting with one another and you are mistreating the people that are working for you? And then they're only fasting for one day. So saying like, you're giving me the bare minimum and your behaviors are all out of order and you're expecting me to bless you and to see you and to see what you are doing and to take it as something holy, right? That's what God's pretty much telling them. It goes on to say, is it only for bowing one's head like a reed and for lying on sackcloth and ashes? Is that what you call a fast, a day acceptable to the Lord? Is not this the kind of fasting I have chosen? To loose the chains of injustice. This is the kind of fast. This is why you fast, right? To loose the chains of injustice and untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free and break every yoke. We fast to break away from these things that these people are still acting in. Then here's the excerpt that says, religious at its best. The book of Isaiah begins in chapter 1 by exposing false religion that had the right form and ritual, but no true sincerity. This chapter presents the other side, the spiritual work God prefers. The book of James includes a similar perspective in chapter 1, verse 27. So then to finish off the chapter, it says, verse 7, is it not to share your food with the hungry and to provide the poor wanderer with shelter? When you see the naked, to clothe him, and not to turn away from your own flesh and blood. Then your light will break forth like the dawn, and your healing will quickly appear. Then your righteousness will go before you, and the glory of the Lord will be your rear guard. So he's breaking down what the purpose of fasting is and when you will see the breakthroughs that you are asking for. Then you will call, and the Lord will answer. You will cry for help, and he will say, here I am. If you do away with the yoke of oppression, with the pointing finger and malicious talk, and if you spend yourselves in behalf of the hungry and satisfy the needs of the oppressed, then your light will rise in the darkness and your night will become like the noonday. The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your fame. He will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose water never fails. Your people will rebuild the ancient ruins and will raise up the old age found. Verse 13, if you keep your feet from breaking the Sabbath and from doing as you please on my holy day, if you call the Sabbath a delight and the Lord's holy day honorable, and if you honor it by not going your own way and not doing as you please or speaking idle words, then you will find your joy in the Lord, and I will cause you to ride on the heights of the land and to feast on the inheritance of your father Jacob. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. So God is very clear in what the experience of fasting is and what the purpose of it is. It's not just to do it, right? There's an order. God loves order. He's a God of order. So there is an order behind fasting, and there's a purpose in it, and there's a way to go about doing it.